right, Ben, drive on up. The Daily Dig articulated boom lifts. Hello and welcome to the Daily Dig, Diggerland's educational series on construction equipment and rides, broadcasting to you on Facebook Live every Wednesday and Friday. Sorry to all our fans out there, we gotta drop Monday. We've gone through almost all of our construction equipment here and we don't have as many machines left, so tune in every Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 p.m. for our educational series on construction equipment. Today we are talking about lifts, in particular articulated boom lifts. Now, we already saw a giant scissor lift on one of our previous Ride Fridays when we rode the elevation station. So how is this lift different? Well, it's different in a lot of ways. Instead of going straight up and down, there are a lot of different features. This lift is great for getting to hard to reach places and unusual spots. So we have with us as always our operator Ben. Hey Ben, he's got Digger Bear with him who's checking the safety today, and he's driving this articulated boom lift. Now, you see it's got these nice thick tires. These are great for, unlike some of the smaller scissor lifts we've seen, these can actually drive on asphalt and concrete, inside buildings, on wood floors, as well as stone and other hard-packed surfaces. It can drive on dirt, provided the dirt's packed down pretty hard. We would need some off-road tires if we want to get into some loose dirt or muddy areas. The other lift we looked at, the elevation station, was great for that. But let's take a look around at the lift. So, this lift is powered by electricity. We plug it in at the end of every workday, and it's got batteries in it. We've seen most of the machines have ran on diesel and some on gasoline, but because this is a piece of construction equipment, there are no exceptions to our hydraulic system. Once again, we are using hydraulics to power this thing. Hydraulics are what's going to lift Ben up in the air and bring him back down and bring his basket and his jib in and out and boom himself out. Hydraulics are great. They are the power that powers all of our equipment. And again, they work by filling up the cylinders with oil and pushing out the hydraulic cylinder. That's how we get action. That's how we get movement. Now, before we take a look at the lift, we're gonna do a quick little bonus daily dig today. We've talked about trenching when we've done backhoes, and we've talked about trenching when we've done excavators. Well, here is trenching in action. You can see they've used a ditch witch and an excavator to pull out some of this dirt, and you see they're actually laying down some PVC pipe now, most likely for irrigation lines for growing some grass in this area. But here is trenching in action. Once the technicians are done installing the PVC lines, they'll fill the dirt back in, and it'll be nice and buried. We saw Ben trenching with the excavator and the backhoe, and here is the actual practical application of trenching. All right, so let's go back to our main daily dig where we're looking at the articulated boom lift. So here we are. We see Ben, he's raised up in his basket here. He's got his controllers. It's the interface that allows him to control this machine. Now we're gonna see some of the features that Ben can do. So Ben, let's see you bring your basket up and down. So Ben's stepping on a safety pedal. It's called an operator presence switch. That's to make sure that Ben is actually physically there, and if he was to fall off or his foot slips off, the machine's gonna stop. So he's using the joystick right now, and he's using a very specific element of it to bring his basket up. So look at that, we see the hydraulic action. You see that cylinder, the ram is being pushed out of it because that cylinder is filling up with hydraulic oil right now. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask during this video, and we'll do our best to answer them during the video right here live. Let us know where you're watching from, and we'll be sure to give you a shout out. And if we don't get to any of your questions, or sometimes I just don't have the answer and I have to look it up, I will answer the question at the very end of the video. I'll go right into the comments and post them. So it looks like we have a few questions, so I'll check those out. In the meantime, Ben, thanks for bringing your basket back down. You can see his control panel there. He's got an e-stop and a lot of different toggle switches to move in a lot of different action. Now, let's take a look over here. There's a scissor lift in action. Now, he's just going straight up and down. Ben can go straight up and down, plus so much more. So Ben, let's... So, Ben doesn't have to drive everywhere. Once he gets to where he's going, he can actually move his entire basket out. He is booming out. And Ben, let's see double action. Why don't you boom up as well as booming out at the same time? So you see Ben's going out and up. Let's watch him go up even higher. We'd like to say hi to Nick, who's watching. Hey Nick, thanks for tuning in again. Looks like Max, age 3 from Rochester, New York, is tuned in again. Hey Max, thanks for watching again. And he loves anything articulated. Well Max, so do I. Thanks for tuning in. Look at this, look at the articulation. Look at all the different motions he can go in. Ben is boomed out, and now he is boomed upward. Now, he can do multiple things at the same time. As he is booming out, he was going up. But just because he's boomed up doesn't mean he has to boom back down. Ben, why don't you suck it in and boom back in a little bit? So to get to a hard-to-reach spot, Ben can actually physically suck his boom in if he had to go underneath something, like this water slide tower, for example. All right, Ben, that's good. Hey, why don't you bring the entire arm up a little bit? So using his boom and his jib, Ben's going to raise up the entire area here. So it looks like first he's going to go back down. He's got his headphones on, so he can't always hear me so great. I should be talking to him in the radio. Look at this action right now. Sort of like the scissor lift, we have 2 different arms here and 2 different hydraulics booming him upward. So his entire basket is raising. All right, Ben, thank you. That's good. The other great thing Ben can do is he's got good side-to-side motion. He can actually rotate this entire unit without having to physically drive it. Ben, why don't you give us a little rotation towards the water slide tower? So you see Ben's turning his entire basket here, and Ryan, age 4, is watching and can't wait to come back to Diggerland. Ryan, we can't wait to reopen and have you back. Thanks for watching. Look at this action. Ben has rotated this basket 90 degrees from the original spot. He has turned completely 90 degrees. If we were using a scissor lift and he had to be in that direction, he would have to physically drive it, scoot it back, and in this tight spot, that'd be kind of hard to do. He'd have to make a lot of corrections. But here, he was able to rotate it, and he can actually do 360 degrees. Ben, why don't you give us a full rotation? Like to also give a shout out to our friend JJ, who's age 4 and also watching in Rochester, New York. Hey JJ, thanks for watching. Look at Ben, he's spinning a whole machine around. Now he's turned 180 degrees, so he's reached his limit. So he's gonna have to come back this way, and he can turn another 180 if he had to go back in that direction. So Alex would like to know how long the boom is. Alex, great question. When we're fully extended, when we have that basket up, when we have him raised up and he's boomed out, we can get to about 50 feet. So that's an excellent, excellent question. All right, Ben, I think that's good right there. So Ben, why don't you come back down? right, so Ben's going to bring it back down. So Ryan wants to know how high that water slide is. Great question, Ryan. It's about 30 feet high right now, 3 stories. Excellent, excellent question. So here comes Ben and Digger Bear back to the ground. You can also see Ben's got his harness on. That's for safety. And he's clipped right onto his basket just in case anything goes wrong. He's secured and attached. You may also know that notice that I'm wearing a harness. That's because you better believe when we're done here, Ben's going to take us for a ride. But first, we're going to give Ben a challenge. Ben, how you doing? All right. How's Digger Bear doing? Looks like he's doing good. Do you think you can touch the water slide tower? Ben's up for the challenge. Let's see him touch that water slide tower. Let us know where you're watching from if you have any other questions. And once Ben finishes touching the water slide tower, he's going to come back on down, and we're going to take a ride. And then we're actually going to take a look all around the water park. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in the water park right now. The most interesting thing that we're going to see is the pool is actually filling up with water. They've put the plaster on, the tile's done, and the pool's filling up with water. Now, it's a big pool, so it's going to take a while to fill up, but we'll get a quick behind-the-scenes look once we go up in this tower. But we're giving Ben his challenge and Digger Bear to touch the tower real quick. Jack's watching. Hey, Jack. Good afternoon to you as well. Thanks for watching. Let's see who else we have watching. Randy, watching in Philly. Randy, we miss you. It's been a while since we've seen you. Thanks for watching, Randy. You got it? Look at that. With the fence in the way, he's still able to come over and touch the tower. Now, this machine was great because if you see behind Ben, there's those white pipes. That's what actually gets water to the top of the slides. Once the slides were built, and Ben helped build these slides, they actually used this lift for securing all the bolts on the slides. Then the plumbers came in and used this lift for installing those pipes. So Ben, come back down to the ground. We want to take a ride. Now again, these lifts are great for getting to hard-to-reach spots. That fence is kind of in the way if we had a scissor lift out here, but using the articulated lift, he can get to those hard-to-reach areas without having to drive all the way around. So if he's doing work here and then there, this is a great way to get where we're going. So Ben's coming back down to the ground now, and me and him are actually going to switch positions. Ben's going to be on the ground, and I'm going to operate for a change, and you guys are going to come with me. All right, Ben has stepped out. Thank you, Ben, as always. We'll see you again in a few minutes. I am stepping in. Great. I am now locked in. We have Leo watching in Burlington, New Jersey. Leo, thanks for watching. All right, so first I'm going to bring our basket up. And I'm going to suck the boom in at the same time because Ben has us boomed out a little bit from before, as I asked him to do. Now, I'm going to bring this entire unit up. So we can see we're rising up. You can see the pool off in the distance. Hopefully you can see that water being filled up. We'll go take a closer look once we're done. All right, so now that I'm up, I can actually bring my boom upward. And as I do that, I can actually rotate the unit. So this is great going for this ride. We're going to keep going up. You can also see off in the distance our newest attraction, as well as the water main, the Rocksoar ride. We have those out. Ben and I were testing them yesterday, doing all our finishing touches, and we're really excited for that ride. They're like Jeeps, but they're off-road Roxers, and you can actually drive them around our course here. They'll be featured on an upcoming episode of the Daily Dig every Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 on Facebook. So now that I'm up, I can start booming out. You can see we're about 30 feet high right now, as high as the water slide platform. I can go higher, but this is about the height that I feel comfortable going right now. And then you guys see as well, believe it or not, working in amusement and construction parks, I'm okay with heights, but they're not exactly my favorite, so we're going to start heading back down to the ground. And we'll take a closer look at the water park as well, since we're up here. All right, so I'm using the control panel, and I'm instructing the machine to start lowering our entire unit down. Again, we are powered by hydraulics. All right, hopefully you guys felt that at home too. All right, so now I'm bringing my boom down. And everything's motion controlled. If I ease up on the joystick, I'm gonna start going slower. And I also have a speed control. So I'm going to suck the boom back in. And you can drive it any which way, but I like having it as straight as possible when I drive it. That way I can see where I'm going. A little bouncy for you guys at home. All right, let's drive over to the water park. So I've taken the joystick, and I could trim and turn the tires. And the direction of tires, they are also created by controlled by hydraulics. And hydraulics do so much around construction sites. They are just a great piece of material. All right, so Rose wants to know, when she comes to Diggerland, can you get Ben and Josh's autographs? Sure, absolutely. Just ask for us. We're all connected by radios. Ask for Josh and Ben. We'll come right out. I think Rose, will have a poster put aside for you that we'll sign. So here we are looking at the water main. So what are we looking at here? Well, this is our main pool that we're looking at. It's filling up with water right now. And there's a lot that's going to happen in this pool. You can see there's a bunch of different sections. Closest to us, we actually have giant inflatable obstacles that it's an obstacle course that you can run across. And if you fall off, don't worry, you're going to fall into the water. And then in the center, we have our aqua shot. That's our basketball game where you can play basketball in the middle. To the right side over there, we have our Digger River and Vortex. The water's actually going to flow around, kind of like a lazy river, but a lot more intense. It's going to pull you around. If you go in the center, it's like a whirlpool. And then we have a couple leisure areas where you could sit as well. In the distance, they're still pouring the concrete and making the forms for the kiddie wading pool. And we have our cabanas, our locker rooms, our pavilion, and our dining area as well. So I'm going to bring this lift a little bit further forward. We'll keep looking at the water park because the electricians need this lift next because they actually they're still working on the lights. And they are patiently waiting for me to finish this video. So we're going to bring this machine forward, see if there's any other questions, and turn the lift over to the electricians for them to do their job. Look at that pool filling. It's a very, very exciting time here. All right, so let me bring the basket back down to the ground so we could disembark. Ben, I'm going to hook my safety if you can get the gate for us, please. What a fun ride that was. Now, another fun feature about this lift is, let's say I need to get Digger Bear where he's going and he doesn't know the controls, or more likely I have to get something onto location, somebody's going to meet me. Well, one thing I can do is actually come over. We have a ground control panel. Everything we just did in the lift, I could switch the controls over to the ground here, and I can actually raise the entire machine up, and do everything I just did. I can bring it up, I can bring the boom up. Pretty much everything we just saw can happen. Digger Bear's taking a nice fun ride by himself. So that's another fun feature. And also, if Ben got into a little bit of trouble and for any reason couldn't operate the controls in the ground, I can actually, or controls in the air, I can operate the controls on the ground here. So if anyone has any questions, post them below. Or if you need a shout out, let us know. Okay, so it looks like we have no more questions. We thank everyone for tuning in today and watching this articulated boom lift. I'm glad you guys get to see the bonus feature of trenching in action, as well as a behind-the-scenes look of our Waterpark and Roxor ride. We thank you guys for tuning into the Daily Dig today. And make sure you check it out every Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 p.m. right here on Facebook Live. Sorry to the fans out there, we're not doing Monday anymore because we've gone through almost all of our construction equipment, but we will be broadcasting to you for the foreseeable future every Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 p.m. right here on Facebook Live. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great day.